Hi everybody, I hope everyone's doing well. Well, today it is January 1st, 2025, the first of the year, and I am here to do a video for you guys because I got inspired. I mean, I had plans to do this video, but I was really inspired this morning when I got up to talk about 2024, what I'm leaving behind and what I'm bringing into 2025. So I've been watching a lot of goals videos, resolution videos, or some of them call them resolve videos. I love watching those videos. I do. Some of it was on makeup goals. Some of it was on weight loss goals. Some of it was on budgeting goals. Some of it was a combination of all these things. So in this video that I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to necessarily talk about any specific goals that I want to do. I will talk about my channel, but it's going to be very broad, because I think what I want to do in this video is talk about 2024, what I'm leaving behind, what I'm bringing into 2025, and the biggest thing that has been occurring, and that has been for me the monumental change in my personal growth in my life. And there is something very specific that I want to share with you guys. All right, so let's get right on to this. Okay, so let's go back to 2023. I always start there. That's where I go. That's like the point of where everything started, was 2023. And that is when I said, you know what? I'm not doing any resolutions. I'm not doing anything but working on my stress. And that's how I started 2023. That's basically how I started it, was realizing that there's no amount of diet or exercise that I was going to be able to do to bring down the number on the scale. And also that I needed to work on issues in my life, whether they be external issues and personal issues. I didn't have an idea. I didn't know how I was going to do it, what I was going to do, but I knew that that was going to be for me it. I was tired of spinning my wheels. So in July of that year, I weighed in at 207.2. That's what I started. And I started strength training. I started doing a ketovore diet and just went on with 2023. You know, I was starting to deal with some things, starting to face some things, but in 2024, things really came to a head, if you will. At the beginning of the year, my son ended up going into a center. He hit a crisis of his own. And because of that, in terms of insurance and things, I met our deductible, which is pretty high deductible. And plus, more money needed to be poured out. And I say this for a reason, so bear with me. Then in March, I got separated from my husband, and in April, I ended up going into therapy. Now, the reason why I brought up the deductible was because going into therapy, I did not really have a big copay because the deductible was met. And again, that's going to come into another point here in a minute. During that year, I really started to understand a lot in therapy. Really, I was very blessed to have found a therapist that was very good. She's somebody that is now working with women, in particular, women older, 50 years and older. She's very good. She was a marriage therapist for so many years that she really understood a lot, and that's what I needed. She was able to share with me the dysfunction of my marriage. She gave it a name. She let me know what it was all about. She helped me understand it. So I got a lot of understanding and knowledge of the dysfunction and what it was that I was dealing with for 24 years, because it was 24 years. I've been married 24 years. In March, actually this year now, it's going to be 25. That's crazy. It's 2025. That just hit me. Wow. So anyway, we're moving on from that. So that's really what it's been. Also in September, I realized that, you know, I was not going to be able to fix my marriage, that this was out of my hands. And for many years, many years, I really thought it was me. For many years, it was such a hard shift in my mental state to understand that, wow, yeah, I mean, I have a role, and I've always said that. I had my own dysfunctions, but the core of the marriage was really not me. that was so hard. And then to also understand that because it's not me, that I cannot create a marriage, right? And so I ended up sort of in a grieving mode. I ended up grieving my marriage in September, and that's kind of like when I pulled back. But 2024 really was a year that needed to happen with all the ups and the down. I had a nervous breakdown at the end of July, and but there was so much growth because knowledge allows you for growth. When you know what you're dealing with and you have the names and you can put a label on it, if you will, you can then do something. But it was hard for me to shift my mind. Inevitably, I've come to now also understand that I wake up every day with a different mindset. Not every single day. I'm a work in progress, but I wake up less in feelings, and the feelings weren't always good feelings. Very putting myself down because of so much confusion and so much things that were wrong that I didn't know. I woke up in my feelings, and then therefore that sort of dictated my day. And now I don't, not as much. I want to be cautious. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I started to transition into waking up, going, okay, what do I got to do today? Okay, and that kind of thing. I have also at the end of the year started to now focus on things that really I enjoy, like my online selling, and I started to do that, and I'm continuing to do that. So there's been a lot of growth because there's been a lot of understanding, and that's what happened. So what I'm leaving behind in 2024 is I'm leaving behind confusion. That's the best way for me to say it, is confusion, doubt, confusion, feeling like, what am I doing? How do I fix this? What am I fixing? Is it me? It has to be me. All that confusing thoughts that contributed to feeling bad about myself. And so because you felt bad, because your life didn't seem to, it's not flowing the way you know it should be. Like, that deep down, this is not right. You wake up struggling to do anything. That's how I woke up. With that said, you guys, 2025 to me looks like it's going to be, again, a year where I'm still going to be working on myself. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about my therapy sessions. One of the things that is now January 1st is the insurance, and the copay starts all over. You have to meet the copay. And so what happened in the week of Christmas, I have therapy sessions on Wednesdays. And because Christmas and New Year fell on Wednesdays, she doesn't have any, she doesn't see any patients then. So on December 25th, on Christmas, I did not have therapy, but I had it that Friday. Okay. The Friday. So on the 27th, and we talked about the insurance, and I said, you know what? Right now, I don't pay pretty much anything. My copay is so tiny. And I go 4 times, in a month. And so she was like, oh, yes, okay. And we started talking about that. And I said, you know what? For next week, meaning this week, because today's Wednesday, I should have it today. But of course, she didn't see any patients today. So I would have it on Friday. But Friday is going to be the 3rd. I told her last Friday, I said, I'm not going to have I'm not going to set any appointments because I need to see what the copay now is going to be, because the deductible is not going to be met. And she was like, okay, don't worry about it. We'll work something out, she said. But as soon as you find out, just text me. And I said, okay. Well, yesterday she ends up texting me around 8:30 in the morning. She says, hey, it is the last day of the year. I could see you today. We can get your this week, we can get it in on Tuesday. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, I'll be there 1:00. So yesterday I had therapy. So let me tell you guys, my therapy session lasted an hour and 40 minutes, you guys. It was so amazing. And we'll have a little after therapy talk right now. The therapy session, we dealt with some things, we're, dealing with things. But one of the things that she did is she says, you know, I don't know when I'll see you again. So hopefully you'll find out about the insurance, but I want you to know something. I want you to take something with you. And this was, like I said, this was past the hour. And she said to me, I want to outline your growth. Because I don't think you see that enough. I think you're still struggling with the cognitive distortions. You still, you know, and we'll talk about that. But I want to outline it for you. And so she went from April and she sort of started telling me, you know, the way my thinking is, and it's changing and all these things. And it was just an amazing thing. You know, she's not a therapist that will pamper you. She's not somebody that tells you what you want to hear. You know, she's very much about, she's always oftentimes to stop me in the middle of therapy when I've said something. She'll be like, oh, no, wait, whoa. And she'll dig it out of me, you know, and she's not somebody that tells me what I want to hear, which is good. It is very, very good. But she really did. She outlined it for me, and she says the growth that you've had is tremendous, and it was really nice to hear. It really, really was. Yeah. So we were in there for an hour and 40 minutes. Oh my gosh. So she did, at the end of the day, she did say, you know what, Laura, I will see you regardless. We'll work something out. Don't worry about it. I don't want you to start stressing out about that. And I said, okay, all right. Because I have a feeling my copay is going to be high. I do. But we'll see. I don't know as of right now. I don't know. But I will keep you posted. But I'm still going to be going into therapy. It may not be, you know, once a week. Maybe not. But I'm still gonna go with her. I was very blessed to have found her. And I don't think it was by accident. I really, really don't. 2024 is going to be a year for me that I'm not going to forget. It was a very, very important year for me. But now it is time to, well, I've been doing it. Put in the work, you know, and stop staying stuck. I got so much clarity. So confusion behind. We're working forward. But as far as YouTube and things like that, I still want to do it. You guys, I really love YouTube. There are things in my life that I really love, okay? YouTube is one of those things, and there's nothing wrong with that. I really love YouTube. I like making content. I like the editing. I want to learn how to edit. Never had the mental space to do it. And now I really, really do. And my online selling is a big part of my life. Is that going to be part of my YouTube channel? I don't know, you guys. I really, really don't. I don't have an outline of what I want to bring on here. I know they say you should have a niche. You should have a niche, right? I agree with that. I do. You should have something that's fundamentally something that you bring here on a consistent basis. Especially if you want to see your channel grow and things like that. I think consistency is something that I've definitely lacked, especially in 2024, but I see why. But anyway, I like vlogging. I like talking about makeup. I still love makeup. It's something I love. I love makeup, you guys. I still have all my makeup palettes, and I've been thinking about bringing Palette Bingo back. You know, I still have, you guys. I still, look at my tripod is going down. I still have remember I used to do Palette Bingo, and I have the master sheet still right here. I still do. Okay, let me fix my tripod. Okay, I had to put my water bottle. Okay, so I love doing Palette Bingo. And Palette Bingo, the roulette wheel where it picked a palette for me, and then from that palette, it would pick 4 shadows. And then those 4 shadows I had to create an eye look with, and sometimes it was like a crazy eye look because of the shadows. I love it. I love that one. And I don't know. I'm really contemplating bringing that one back. I really do like that. And I know somebody on here who really likes those videos. I know. I know she said, don't ever get rid of that. So anyways, what it is, I don't know, you guys. My health and healing, I think that's something that I definitely want to bring into 2025. So as far as like, you know, goals and things, when it comes to losing weight, and things like that, we'll talk about it in another video, guys. So I hope that you just stick around with me, you guys. We'll figure it all out, but I really do love doing YouTube. I really, really do. I like vlogs. I still like those. What I eat in a day, belly dancing. I love belly dancing. So there's a lot of things that I enjoy that I want to share. Uh, and my health and healing when it comes to after therapy talks, I really think that things aren't as intense, but there are still things in my personal life, especially in my marriage, that decisions are being made. I can tell you when it comes to my marriage, they are. They're being solidified. And I will come back again and I will continue talking. I think I owe you guys an update. Yeah, I feel like I do because I brought it on here and I don't have any regrets doing so. It's part of what I'm going on in my life. And I want to share it. So I will do an update and we'll come back with more specific videos for sure. But I'm still here and I hope you stick around. So if you've been with me and you're still with me, thank you so much. And if this is your first video and you're going, well, what is it going to be about? Stick around, subscribe, and let's see what it's all about. Health and healing. That's the one thing I do know. It's about health and healing. It's not always pretty. It's not always easy. And there's a lot of feelings and emotions and crying and, aha moments and things like that. But it's healing nonetheless, and it's moving forward nonetheless. So I hope you stick around. So if you've been with me for a while, thank you. And if this is your first video and you're subscribing, welcome. All right. Now, I had told you guys that there was something that in my life is big, okay? That is helping me in my life to grow, to heal, and to feel about myself differently, to view myself differently, and to accept those things that I enjoy and embracing those things. Again, it doesn't matter what it is in my life. The biggest change that has been happening with me, and this is something I talked to with my therapist yesterday. In fact, I told my therapist, this is part of the reason why we were on for an hour and 40 minutes. One of the things I said is just humor me, bear with me. She goes, absolutely, say what's on your mind. And I said, okay. I said, this is the one thing that came out of 2024, other than knowledge and other than the things that I've been doing in therapy. But I don't diminish any of that. And I thanked her from the bottom of my heart because she's helped me tremendously. But the biggest thing for me is my faith. You guys who've been with me know that I'm a Christian. I've talked about my faith in the past. But I left going to church in March when I got separated. And I recently went back in November. And let me tell you, oh my gosh, you guys, my faith has grown so much. I never been somebody who read the Bible, first of all, because I really have a hard time understanding it. And I never really had anybody to really teach me it. But I found somebody, and this somebody is amazing. He is amazing. And I can't say enough good things. And I now study my Bible. I now read my Bible. I have a spreadsheet of notes, and it's elevating my faith, and it's giving me a better understanding of me through Christ. But here's the thing, okay, that I want to share, and this is what I really I told my therapist. Okay, I've talked about my marriage. I'm separated, yeah, and there's nothing that I can do to save it. Me alone, I can't, and there's that. But it's been rocky from the very beginning. And when you feel like you question, does he love you? Does he not love you? Are you, is this love, etc., etc. Love is like a universal thing that we all want. And in recent therapy sessions, I would tell my therapist things like, I want to be loved. And I don't think that there is that in my marriage and things like that. And we talked about that, but the other day I was in Mass a couple weeks ago. I was sitting there and I was looking at we have the crucifix, and I was looking at it, and I said to myself, just staring at it and praying and praying. And it came to me, I'm telling you that this is something that it's a personal thing, but I'm just going to say this. I realized how loved I am. And I realized that I'm in the best love story that I will ever be in. The love story. I'm part of that love story. When you realize that you've been loved and you are loved and you can have an absolute personal relationship, it has taught me more about myself. Everybody can judge you. People can judge you. People can say things about you. It doesn't make it so. And your self-worth, when you get it from the one that matters, your self-worth grows exponentially. Well, when I'll keep it on me. When I relied on my own self-worth and everything about loving myself, and I should love myself, and you should do things that honor yourself and everything self, for me, it doesn't work. Self, for me, it doesn't work. I get it through him. And that is all I really can say about it. It has changed the way I view myself. And now that I'm studying with somebody the Bible and he's teaching me, I read the words in the Bible and it's like I learn about myself even more. And that is what I'm bringing into 2025, that spiritual growth in my faith and beyond 2025. And I told this to my therapist, and she says, "Oh my goodness, Laura, you hang on to that. That is so amazing." And so in therapy, you might think, well, why do you need therapy? Because I'm a human being and I have patterns of behavior that I do to myself that I fall into. And we are working through that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. You're pulling all the positive sources. And it's a space for me in therapy that allows me to share our fears, share doubts, share things in that moment. Or if something happens in my week that I need to let out, or I need a feedback, or I need to be shown, you know what I mean? Like, it's a space for me that I still need, and that I still need to do some work on myself. But I'm part of a love story that is the love story that I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of that love story. All right. And I think that is everything I wanted to share. Looking forward to, I feel like I'm forgetting something though. I really, really do. I think I'm forgetting something and I don't know. I forgot, but now I remembered. When it comes to my therapy and that, why I go back and why I feel like I still need my therapy, even though I have a lot of answers, and in Christ I am feeding self, right, through him, only through him. But one of the things that my therapist said to me was, in ending yesterday's, is she says a lot of people confused feeling fearful as it, like if you're going to do something and you have fear, right? That it always tends to be, it always associated with it's wrong. It's a wrong thing to do. If you have fear, it's a wrong thing to do. And that's not the case. Don't associate fear or being afraid or whatever, but fear in particular with it being wrong. The word exposure is what I'm going to be doing in 2025. I knew, like I said, I knew I had things to tell you. But exposure. I have so much learned behavior that I've adapted throughout the course of the years that it's not who I am inside. You know what I mean? Due to circumstances of my life, that I've developed a pattern of behavior and I've developed a way of being that I need new exposure. She uses the word exposure. I use that word a lot now. It's a word that I really took in. Like, So in 2025, one of the things she says, because she kept saying, I'm so excited for 2025. Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet, Laura. You're going to see it. You're going to have exposure to new things. And one of the things is exposing myself to, unfortunately, in my case, it's a little bit unfortunate. It's not what I set out, but doing things independently. Now, getting out there and doing things again independently. You know, it's something that I never had a problem with in my life, except through the course of the marriage, because of patterns of behavior, new learned patterns that, you know, doing something alone or doing something by myself, it seems so scary or whatever. But that's another word that I'm taking into 2025, which is new exposure. Exposure to doing things. She told me that in her life, that one of the things, because of some things that happened in her life and things, but you know, one of the things she did was go to the movies by herself. Now she goes, I don't want to tell you this because I want you to go to the movies by yourself, but that's what she goes, I'm telling you what I did. And I remember the first time she said she went to go do it and she couldn't do it. She went back in the car, and then she went and did it one time, and now she has no problem going to the movies by herself. And she's married. She is married and things. But she says you're going to find yourself back to that Laura that was not afraid to do things on her own and get things done. You know, you're going to go back to that Laura. You know, you're on your way there. So it's new exposures in my life that I'm bringing into 2025. Again, I should do them anyway. Things that I should do on my own anyway. There are things that I don't do on my own. You know, I've secluded a certain part of my life, you know, and that is going to be staying behind. So exposure is a word that we talk a lot about in therapy within recent months, very recent months. And she outlined already what I'm already doing by myself. You know, sometimes, that's another thing. She says, sometimes necessity puts you there. You have to. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, Laura. And she gave me a couple of examples in her life and in her mom's life. And this is why the session was so long, because, you know, she really dug deep into a lot of these things for me that are coming up in my life that are scary. But like she said, fear doesn't equate wrong. And you got to stop thinking that. You got to remove that in your mindset. So 2025 is going to be about exposures, things that I used to do on my own that were never an issue. So getting back to that Laura, that is there. It's there. She's there. I'm there. It's me. But I had to get over the fact that grieving, you know, I had to grieve my marriage and things. So it's a process. So I'm glad that she helps me understand that it's a process. It's not like a 1, 2, 3. So 2025, exposure, new things. That's what I need to do. Okay. I made this too long, you guys. I will come back with some specific videos, but I'm here to stay, you guys. I really, really am, because I really like YouTube. But like I said, in this video, there was not going to be like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. It was just like an overview and outline, especially because that's where I've been for for the whole year of 2024. It's been about all this. And so I look forward to putting and implementing now new things when it comes to my business, my YouTube, my health, my diet, my losing weight, my exposures, new experiences outside these walls. As scary as it is, like she said, fear does not equate wrong. So, all right, you guys. And most important, my faith, learning. My faith has been fundamentally the most important thing that speaks to my self-worth and where I stand in the big scope of things. I see it through him, through Christ, for sure. Okay, my friends, that's it. I'll let you go. Here's to 2025. Talk to you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye.